Yo, yo, yo. Welcome in, RotoBaller PGA family, to another edition on a Tuesday of launching long shots. This time for the ZOZO Championship. PGA Tour heads international for the very first event ever played in Japan 5 years ago. Now this will be the sixth edition of the ZOZO Championship, played at Accordia Golf near Ashino Country Club, just on the outskirts of Tokyo. Limited field, 78 players. It's the best event that we get during the fall swing in terms of field strength. The highest purse, $8.5 million on the line out there in Japan, in a no-cut style event. So you get the influx of Schauffele, you get the influx of Morikawa, Matsuyama, Thomas, Sahith Theegala. These are the players that are going to eat up the majority of the betting tickets, and for good measure. The last 4 of the last 5 winners have all been from the top of the field. We're still going to look at some long shots, okay? Now, listen, last week we had Doug Gim and Gary Woodland, and I mentioned both of those players on this launching long shots segment. Both finished in the top 10. Gim obviously was one shot short of forcing a playoff against JT Poston. I really do believe that we are on the right track here. Let's keep going. And speaking of Gary Woodland, I'm going right back, guys, at 65-1. The guy continues to absolutely flush the cover off the ball. Last week at the Shriners, gained 5 strokes on approach. Start before that, 7.5 on approach. Start before that, 3. Start before that, 8.4. Dude's just been almost automatic when it comes to his iron play. So I'm going to continue to go back to a player like Gary when he's clearly in form. Another great sign for Gary Woodland last week. Look at this putting number. So I talked about this a little bit on preferred lines this week. Gary Woodland switched to one of those lab putters, longer, much more balanced. Seems to be like a cheat code for guys who are struggling with putting. Worked for Gary Woodland last week. He's had some good history here as well, with a 5th when he played this event back in 2019. Gary Woodland, 65-1. Is someone we can all root for. Cut the field in half, cut the number in half, but we're going to go back for our first long shot this week. Second up, 80-1. Another guy who finished well. So here's one thing that I wanted to mention. Incoming form is important and has shown so in this event. 4 of the last 5 winners have all posted an 8th place finish or better in their previous 3 starts coming into the ZOZO Championship. Here's the guy who recorded another top 5 last week, kind of out of nowhere, but it's KH Lee. Here's why I like him. He's added a good bit of distance to his profile as a player. He's top 7 in the field in terms of par 5 scoring, which I do believe is a key to unlocking near Ashino Country Club. Played this event the last 3 years, mediocre results, but is playing a lot of golf. Sanderson, 23rd, 46th at the Black Desert Classic, 5th at the Shriners. He's out there on the grind right now, playing pretty well. The performance last week, I think, could be a little bit of an indicator or some breadcrumbs that KH Lee is coming a bit back into form. And when you look at sort of how he did it, this is what you like to see, the iron play. This is a ball striking test over there in Japan completely. Smallish greens, wide fairways. It's going to come down to how you are striking your irons. When you look at the previous champions' resume, you're talking about Keegan Bradley, you're talking about Hideki Matsuyama, Colin Morikawa, Tiger Woods. These are some of the best ball strikers that have ever played professional golf. Not that KH Lee is anywhere in that realm, but it goes to show the point that you really have to be in control of your golf ball with your irons, particularly on a lot of these long approach shots that this place required. Okay, here's one that I think makes a great top 10, top 20 bet. Could be a nice little play in DraftKings as well. There were early numbers out on some books that were sleeping on this guy at 200-1. You can still get him now on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern when I'm recording this at 120-1. I'm talking about Ryo Hisatsune. I think I got that name right, but Ryo has been amazing at this event. So when you look at his course history here, T6 last year, T12 the year before. Obviously, the Japanese lineage and coming up through the Asian tour, I think allows him a good bit of confidence coming into these events. Played on home soil, a lot to work for. We saw how much it meant to Hideki a few years ago. And when you look at Ryo's last 3 starts, what's he doing it with? Of course, he's doing it with the irons. T3 also checks that box of a good finish in his last 3 at the Wyndham, where he gained 7.2 on approach. decent week at the Black Desert there at 3.4. When you look at the course history coupled with a little bit incoming form, I think this number is just a bit too high at 120 to 1. That's 5 minutes. Those are my long shots. Shout out to the crew over at RotoBaller PGA. My podcast is out now. Course preview is up. Top 10 players this week. Matchups article will be out later today. Spencer and Byron did an amazing job breaking down this event from a DFS perspective on the RotoBaller PGA show. We are churning out content during this fall swing. I hope you all enjoyed this segment once again. My name is Joe Idone on behalf of the RotoBaller PGA team.